Recording in progress. Nice to have you all join. We try to keep these to 20 or so minutes, so hopefully it won't take a huge amount of your day and add some value to your different roles and responsibilities. Today, it's always great. Also, by the way, if anybody types into the chat, it's fun if you put in where you are sitting. Everybody loves to know where everybody's sitting and where that comes from. So I'm in San Francisco. Please put anything in there that where you're from, and it'd be great to Houston, great place, oil and gas, and great barbecue. So today we're going to be talking about how to use AI in quality. And Manchester, UK, fantastic. India, wonderful. We got the whole globe here, fantastic. So basically what we're going to be talking about is how to use artificial intelligence in the quality processes. And I'll try to make this not too salesy on Praxie, but it's the areas I have, and we have a kind of unique capability around this that it's actually incredibly powerful, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you. So I'll go ahead and get started. A little bit overview about Praxie and what we do, and then we'll talk about AI and how that applies to quality. So Praxie is a NoSQL AI apps platform. We use it for digital transformation and AI-powered applications. We have lots of customers. My background was in SAP. I ran their Internet of Things group for a couple of years prior to starting Praxie. And we've been doing Praxie for a while now and lots of customers. The reason we started Praxie was that we I found when I was going to different companies and different plants that everywhere I went, they had core systems that might be their ERP system or other few systems, and then just a tremendous amount of Excel. And so we started Praxie to do digital transformation, but it also has another very powerful aspect to it is you can't get AI working in your system if you're not digital. So we can take companies very rapidly from this sort of chaotic state of a few systems and a bunch of Excel sheets that you don't have visibility to and stuff like that, to a fully integrated command center where everything rolls up. You get rid of all the Excel sheets. You now have a digital footprint that you can use to drive AI. So whether you use Praxie or not, this is the first step, is getting access to the data that can give you insights and use your digital transformation to really drive improvements that otherwise were not capable. What we tend to do is we'll go into a plant and we'll start in different areas, and then we digitize all of these different kinds of things. We have hundreds of different solutions, et cetera. So let's talk a little bit. So that's Praxie, and we'd love to help if we can. But let's talk about AI in general and how you can use this for quality or really gaining insights out of any types of data. Basically, the best practices say moving to digital transformation, getting out of Excel, et cetera, 15 to 20% productivity gains, cost reductions, et cetera. And the data right now says AI can drive 5 to 10% more. My experience is that is way undervalued. There's lots of, we'll give you guys this PowerPoint presentation so you can take it with you. But I think the power of AI working on your data can really supercharge a lot of different areas. We're working with different customers, finding hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings in their pricing, in their quality issues, in different cost reduction methodologies. So being able to use AI is incredibly powerful. And I'll show you kind of how the process works in a minute here. But if you look at the situation and how to do it today, lots of businesses want AI-powered applications that provide insights, automation, workflows, et cetera. How do I use all this AI stuff for something besides going to ChatGPT and asking a few questions? Most companies have lots and lots of data, and this is where the insights live. The problem is that there's this thing we call the app gap, meaning I don't have an application to use this stuff in a way that it's useful to drive outcomes for my business. And so we focused on that app gap to bring the data together, and we have unique technologies to do that. But regardless of whether you use Praxie or others, you need to go through these steps. You need to get the data in. We have what's called a schemaless data acquisition and indexing. In English, that means you can just dump the data in. This is huge because traditional ETL, extract, transform, and link processes are very time consuming. You can spend a year trying to get this right. We can just ingest the data. That's huge. Secondly, we dematerialize it, or we basically normalize it all so that AI can access it, and it can be accessed by a rapid development. Basically, we turn it into lots of tables so you can use AI to analyze, diagnose, suggest, automate, monitor, all the things that AI can do, it does on that data set that gets normalized so it can use it. So that's a lot of data preparation parts that we do very, very fast. But regardless of how you do it, you need to go through these processes. And then finally, you have to build applications that can use that data. We have this rapid development environment, but you have to be able to build those applications that can use those, whether those quality applications, sales, pricing, manufacturing, analysis, any of those processes need applications that sit on top of the data structures to actually use it, analyze, and take action. So there's a few different options on how to get there. One, you can use your IT teams to develop this stuff. That expertise is hard to come by. They have limited time and resources. You can use large companies, and they'll do a good job over time. Their structures are different, so it's slower, and I'll show you in a second. But we can tend to build these things in a matter of a few weeks and have you up and running. It's incredibly powerful, but I'll show you what we do. The reason we can do it, and the reason that regardless of how you do this, you need to go through these problems, is a traditional structure has a SQL structure where you do the ETL, as I mentioned, and then you build your applications using code or even low code, which generates code, and you have to debug, and it's very, very time consuming. The Praxie way is we have a NoSQL structure that allows us to basically dump the data in. We structure it as we need it. We build the apps very rapidly, very fast, very powerful. So to get where you want to get very quickly, you need to get there on a structure that can handle it. Okay, so let's talk about quality and how AI can be used in quality. So as if you guys on the call are quality managers or quality engineers, there's lots of different steps in a total quality management process: planning, assurance, control, improvement, et cetera, et cetera. You guys have been through these things. So all of these things have specific steps and workflows. And if you have a QMS system that's doing some of this stuff, you're working some of that data. What we found is customers come to us and they say, we have a quality problem and we don't know what's causing it. It's causing us yield issues, it's causing us scrap issues, and we need to understand it. So Praxie has a suite of applications that sort of align to some of those or most of those areas that we've talked about. But what I'm going to do now is actually demonstrate how you can use AI. I just got a comment, looking forward to not using spreadsheets. Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to jump in here and show you how you can use AI processes to get the data and drive real value out of your data for AI. So what we're showing here, and I won't show you the back end, happy to do it on a demo if you guys want to do it. But basically, what we do is we feed the AI data. We have a series of structures in our workflow systems and the ingestion part that feeds the AI data. This is just a little icon showing the AI data comes in, and that data set gets interrogated. And we have a series of wizards that we work with the customers on, but basically the data gets interrogated and it gives you the kind of information you'd be interested in. How it interrogates your quality data, gives you the production metrics, quality metrics, and corrective actions and things that it might suggest at a high level. And these can be tweaked so that this report that you get on a daily basis when you come in the morning is AI generated. It gives you the things that are most powerful, most impactful, or most powerful and impactful, and gives you a good overview of what happened during the evening. You can then run through a wizard-based process, and it then will do error diagnosis for you. So it will look at the reported cause across those different errors that were reported by the people logging the data, or if it's all machine data, it will then also give you possible additional causes of the quality errors or the issues that you were seeing from the data. Once you get that, you can, and by the way, everything in here is completely designable to your processes in question, and methodologies. You can then take the AI and go through questions around solution recommendation. So the AI will reach out to the internet, and we'll talk about security of your data here in a second, but the AI will reach out to its knowledge base and look at likely solutions for those different issues that you raised and the likely improvement based on the different types of actions you take. You can then look at all of the actions here on a 2x2 grid based on ease of implementation and the value, and you and your team can really make a decision about where you want to spend your time based on the information you have. And then lastly, you can generate automations. And so in our system, and if you build a system like this, the automation aspect is very powerful. So you can based on error codes or scrap levels or any type of metric you're tracking, trigger notifications, trigger changes in the data. You might say if an error, let's say you have a pricing, this is a pricing issue, say, but it's a good example. There's a pricing issue. The AI has realized that there is a misalignment in the pricing categorization. You can then have that surface and you can click a button and that will automatically reach back into your ERP and update the classification of that pricing. So there's just a tremendous amount of automations you could do here. I'll show you, simply here, if I go to 500, this is just a simple example where this is going to push past the red of the area. And then that will trigger automated emails and notifications about quality processes that should happen. You can even trigger a maintenance order or an A3 or any of the dozens of various types of processes. These are all different, Pareto, all different processes that A3s, 5Y processes, really whatever you want to trigger as part of the process can be built into it. So the important thing to remember is that this entire process in your quality dashboard, this left to right process that I showed you, we design and can be designed, and regardless of whether you use Praxie, should be designed to your exact process specification. And think of the AI as an additional layer to dramatically improve the insights that you can get and the actions and the speed at which you can take them. And you can do it on your existing data set and truly empower your team to use AI as part of their daily work to drive quality. Not only find things that they couldn't, but automate processes and get rapid response and A3s and maintenance much, much more effectively for specific issues than were able to be done before. So that's the general idea. I'll go back here and just give you, I guess, close out here. So the ability to bring in the data, to analyze that data, to then take action on that data, all within a unified framework that easily sits on top of your existing framework is really the goal you want to have. Whether you use Praxie or not is up to you, obviously. We'd love to talk with you, but our understanding and learning so far on these processes is that's the structure you want. You want this brain, this capability, this command center that works in conjunction with your existing systems to drive value through your quality processes. So with that, I'll pause and we can questions being asked. Do we need a data warehouse like Snowflake to collect the data? No. One of the interesting things about the Praxie structure here in this ingestion capability, if I go back here to this, so it's a schemaless system, and that means we could have a connection to your SQL database. We could have a connection to Excel sheets that you're dumping in from a different system. We could even read PDFs and extract the data from them and normalize all that data into this second process here that I was talking about. So that is quite unique in Praxie capability, so you do not need that. Other questions, comments? Okay. Well, if you guys are interested in diving deeper into how we can, and what we normally would do, and I think, is get an export of a certain chunk of data. As I said, we can deal with lots and lots of different size data along the way, but get an export of some of your data and some of the key issues that you're trying to address. And then we can do an evaluation and show you the power of this stuff. It's quite incredible. I view it kind of as magic pixie dust. You can just do amazing things with it in the context of the problems you're trying to solve. So if you're interested, there's my email. You can reach out to me directly, or you can go to praxie.com and there's a set up a demo, and one of our team will walk you through how the whole system works. But thank you for joining us today. I hope you found some value in this, and we look forward to talking with you again. Take care.